wasn't going to do a video about gun control, gun rights, primarily because, I like my YouTube channel to be kind of fun. Stay away from the politics, that kind of stuff. But I mean, in reality, that's our world. That's what we live in. But anyway, this video here, it kind of shows me, which I've already known, why it's so damn hard to even talk about gun control. And I'm using this guy as an example because this guy lives in the Pennsylvania, PA area. If you're on YouTube, you probably know him. Street Speed 717, kind of a car auto blogger, with a McLaren, a couple of Corvettes. Pretty decent channel. Actually, it's a pretty good channel. But he's from the Pennsylvania area, East Coast, northern part of the country. I would say decent amount of Republicans and Democrats, but a lot of gun rights advocates, and I'm going to use that word instead of the word I would normally use. But he's comparing in his video, and mind you, before I get into this guy has guns, a lot of guns, and he can be categorized as a gun advocate, in my opinion. But he's one with common damn sense, if you ask me. Like I said, this guy has a lot of guns. I think he may even have an AR-15, a couple other things. He made a really hilarious video responding to this video about the people who make it so difficult to even talk about gun rights or restricting guns in any way. But in any case, you can watch his full video, but I just wanted to pull out this little part where he's comparing what all it takes to get a driver's license for a 16-year-old.
Just because you can do one thing that's like life-threatening or whatever doesn't automatically mean you should be able to do all.
Here he's talking about, military.
But anyway, you look at a car. Okay, so when you're 16 or whatever your state's laws are, you can get a permit. And to get your permit, you have to prove that you know the rules of the road, and you have to prove that you have basic concepts of driving and you understand it and you understand the risk, and you have to take a class and you have to have education and do all that. Then you can get a permit. Then you can drive with a parent or guardian. Then you have to have so many hours in the car with the parent or guardian. You have to drive at night. You have to drive in the rain. You have to do all that. You have the tripod. And after you've had the permit and you haven't had any violations, you can take a test to get your license, and you have to take a written test, and you have to go out on the road. Now, I still think the license test is a total joke, and it should be harder. But you have to do all that. When you get a car, you have to have a valid driver's license. The government, you're tracked by your driver's license. You have to get the car titled. The car itself has to go through when you're a car manufacturer, how many thousands and thousands of regulations are there to make sure the car is safe, to make sure it's roadworthy, just to make sure, right down to the emissions, everything. Think of all the regulation that goes into building a car. And you have to, like I said, you have to have that car titled. You have to have that car registered. You have to have yearly inspections. You have to make sure the car is safe. You have to have insurance on the car. You have to do all this shit for a car. And again, it's just a car. And a gun, which is a lot more lethal than a car and should probably have a lot more regulations on it, you just walk in and buy one. So,
See, that, what he just said there makes good common damn sense. It's not crazy. It's not irrational. He never said anything about taking away people's rights to guns, the Second Amendment, taking away your rights to choose where you go eat, sleep, drink, or what you say. But the comments from the people that on his site are actually what make it so hard for gun control, or even to talk about gun control, and at great risk to himself, because this is what he does is YouTube, and these are his subscribers, and a lot of his subscribers are people that I would, fuck the correct word, gun nuts. A lot of his, because see, there's gun advocates, gun right advocates, then there's gun nuts. The gun nuts are these people right here. Look, also, F you, Mike. And they go on and on and on. sewer monkeys, redneck retard triggered over blank he don't know. A lot of triggered Hillary or Hillary supporters. You see where it goes. You see how it goes, and it just goes on and on. These two, I guess they just kind of got into it. Why would somebody name himself Sewer Monkey 69? I don't know. Yeah, I just don't think you need that. But anyway, back to some of the comments of people that I call basically gun nuts. Not gun right advocates, because if you're an advocate for something, you believe in making it safe. Yeah. Here's one here. Should drunk people be allowed to keep their cars, or people they can't spell or write in the dictionary, and such things enabling those people stealing a gun? You mean like stealing, S-T-E-A-L-I-N-G? I don't know. Stealing, I guess that means making a gun. Who knows? Or buying a gun, private party. Well, they need to restrict that too. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Oh man, I don't know what this guy's talking about. Mike is the true snowflake. Exactly, he's getting triggered about how we all have the right to own guns and wants to infringe on that right. That's not what he said. Let's see, here this guy here is talking about the 17-year-olds and that he's going to unsub the channel. Now you want to talk about the channel, but you've been watching the channel for months. I've not the time to be preached at by millennials. And he said he'll be back at a real job in 6 weeks. Mike is a true tard. You see, this is what makes it so hard. I mean, some of these guys are really going to the extreme here. I mean, if you listen to what he said, it was just logic. He never said anything about, taking somebody's guns. I mean, this cat has a ton of guns. But this kind of makes you see why it's so hard to even talk about guns. Hypocritical millennial who hasn't got a clue. What this moron doesn't realize is that after they take away your right to own a gun, I don't know where this guy's going with it. Whatever gun we choose, they will likely take away the right to say what we choose, worship where we choose, and it just goes on and on. The Second Amendment is the bedrock. The guy never said anything about taking the Second Amendment away. He's a Second Amendment supporter. Not a wise thing to put on YouTube, Mike. And that's maybe not. I mean, it's his channel. He can put whatever he want on it. Arguments 1, 2, 5, and 6. So some people agree with him. A lot of people agree with him. I guess it's about 50-50. Let's see what his likes. 7,000 likes against 1,000 dislikes. So that's considered a good video. And you got the gun nuts sprouted out through here that, anytime you talk about anything about messing with their guns, just like a typical gun nut, they want to, pivot off into other things that the government's supposed to take. But you should watch this video. This video is pretty good. I think him coming from the East Pennsylvania area with a lot of gun rights advocates and a lot of them being on his channel, it's kind of was a risky video. And I applaud him for, making a statement about it. Most YouTubers wouldn't touch this subject. You do YouTube like you do a business per se. There's certain political things, if you're trying to make money, that you don't talk about. If you just want to get your opinions out there, you don't really give a crap. Who has something to say about it, then you put your opinions out there, and I applaud the guy because, I mean, he makes pretty good money on YouTube. A lot of his fan base, not as much as I would think if I'm looking at the likes versus dislikes. A lot of his fan base agree with him. And I can agree with just common sense. Nobody in this video and nobody on any conversations I've heard said we want to take away your Second Amendment rights, or they want to take away every gun. They just haven't. And here's his response to all these nut jobs that
So speaking of the video from last night, I want to apologize and say that I realize most of you are right. I am so ridiculous, and I hate the Second Amendment so much. And, I do think that all guns should be banned, of course. Oh my God, what are you doing in here? This is just ridiculous. We talked about this. You're not supposed to be in the cars. Honestly, leave them alone for 1 second. You just can't trust them because they go off and do their own thing. I mean, this is just craziness. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Where was I? Something about hating the Second Amendment. Or maybe, you can be a gun owner and you can own any type of firearm and still believe that there is room for some common sense regulation. Don't think it stops with the private citizen, because I think that police should have to have much better training as well. With that out of the way, let's get in the C7 here and do a nice little startup. Get my glasses out of the oh, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh, that's hilarious. In any case, man, I don't know what to say about the whole. Well, I know what to say about the whole gun right thing, and that is they're gonna have to change. You at some point you're gonna have to use some common sense gun regulations. I personally don't own a gun. I've never had a use for a gun. I've shot guns. I mean, I used to own a shotgun. My dad has always had guns. I got uncles that got guns and like guns. But it's like the guy said in the video. I mean, if it takes all of that to drive a car, we should at least have a little bit more requirements to buy an automatic or semi-automatic weapon like an AR-15 or any automatic gun. That's my opinion, and I think that's kind of the opinion that the world is leaning toward. At least America is finally leaning toward. Nobody wants to take away anybody's gun rights, but you got to do something. I mean, it's ridiculous, the number of mass shootings we've had, and nothing seems to happen. So I thought that was a good video. Street Speed 717 put. There's a lot of people making good videos about it. Those kids are making good videos about it. When I think about people saying that, we need to put more guns in schools and more guns out on the street to kind of stop the mass shootings. I mean, that's just like saying, well, we need to give more people AIDS so we can cure AIDS. The logic isn't there. That just doesn't make sense. Go figure.